I have several issues with this proposal that I would like to discuss with you all. First, on line 28, the author claims that stimulus spending is necessary. However, I do not believe it is logical to describe stimulus spending as necessary, and in my opinion, this description is liberal and partisan. I personally cannot list a single benefit that has come from the 2009 Obama stimulus bill. It is obvious that this bill has not improved our economy because we are still in a recession and still over a 10% unemployment rate. Second, the author mentions that the reputations of congresspeople suffer when stimulus spending is enacted. However, I do not believe that something so superfluous should be a major consideration for this proposal. Lastly, taxes will rise. Who does this hurt? Not the upper class, but the lower and the middle classes. These taxes would harm the very people that this proposal attempts to help. I yield my time to the chair.
I reserve the right to yield the remainder of my time to the government of Connecticut.
That is your right.
All right. I stand in support of this proposal, and we've already heard some of the economic benefits of the proposal, but we must go over some of the political benefits as well. All too often, politicians, especially first-term presidents, are tied to the deficit and debt levels as if they were all their own making, and that's simply unfair because they are the result of a long economic process. Now, this can be very harmful to their careers as they become more and more fearful of making an impact on a struggling economy at the risk of losing votes. Also, I must add that the Recovery Act of 2009 took almost a year to hammer out at a time when a quicker solution was needed to keep the deficit from getting out of hand. So, we must understand that the longer you wait to fix a recession, the worse and worse the recession gets. This proposal would quickly fix those recessions. What made that process even worse were the special unrelated backroom deals brokered in Congress that added to the amount of wasted legislative time that could have been spent on more pressing issues. This proposal focuses strictly on what is needed to stimulate the economy and nothing that is unnecessary. Also, I must say that this proposal will not hurt the lower classes because they would be exempt from the 1% tax increase. I yield the remainder of my time to Delegate Feldman.
You yield 25 seconds.
Delegate Feldman from Connecticut. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Donnie. I just want to specify that it's a 1% tax increase. It's mostly for the wealthy, as reiterated by Delegate Regani. Also, I am appalled by previous delegates saying that this is a partisan bill and liberal, because we're here as bipartisan members. We're here as people that need to work together, and the only way to work together is to have this automatic stimulus package. And I urge you all to pass this resolution.
Thank you, delegates.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For Colorado, Minnesota, I would like to reserve my right to yield to Wilson from Tennessee.
That is your right.
Thank you very much. My comments are very brief, but I'd just like to say that there are many contributing factors that force the economy into cycles of recession, but attempting to juggle money that may or may not be readily available in the right quantities when we need it by no means will be a combatant to a lulling economy in times of recession. Depending on an unreliable and almost magically appearing money pool is not a safe investment for our nation's economy. And at this time, I'd like to yield to
Yes.
Thank you. Jeremy Wilson, State of Tennessee. I have two main problems with this bill. First is the fact that it advocates a stimulus package. In my personal opinion, stimulus packages are a poor choice for our economy for the two main reasons I'm about to list. First, this proposal allocates the funds to a special government fund where it sits helping nobody, not circulating through the economy, not encouraging business. Secondly, pork. Stimulus bills are large, comprehensive, and largely wasteful because congressmen have to demand funds be given to many special interest groups. My second issue with the proposal is that the taxes increase when the GDP is increasing. I find this to be paradoxical. When the economy is growing, we enchain it with taxes. I believe that Keynesian economics are outdated. The single best way to encourage business growth and economic development is to decrease taxes. This puts more capital back in the hands of entrepreneurs, prospective business owners, who employ the majority of Americans, I might add. And I cannot support this proposal, as it would lead to economic stagnation and it would misuse the taxpayers' money. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you, delegates. You're
Delegates, we have had a lot of discussion, Peter Sheeking from the Michigan delegation. We have had a lot of discussion in these multiple debates over liberal economics, conservative economics, and all the panoply of the ideas that have come together in this chamber. I would like to, however, review some of the statements by previous speakers that have said that liberal economics are outdated, that they don't work, that Keynesian economics don't work. They've claimed that the New Deal was, huge government spending for very little benefit. But I would like to remind those speakers that the GDP had completely recovered from the Great Depression levels by 1937 with the New Deal. Unemployment had declined by 10%, and the United States was well on the road to recovery had they not withdrawn funding in 1937. Now, World War II did put us back to our former economic glory, and that was through government spending on war products. Now, the stimulus package is not only to stimulate businesses, achieve national goals as well that we can use at the same time. We have used the stimulus money to build green infrastructure, to repave roads and highways, update our roads and bridges, and to rebuild America, which has really been crumbling and neglected in the past few decades after the great building boom in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So, the stimulus package puts money in the hands of businesses that otherwise they would, even though they would have more money during the good times, they wouldn't have as much business during the recession because the government then gives them business. And so perhaps during the great times you don't rise to such enormous peaks, but during the bad times you don't fall to such lows as we are experiencing now. Now, the stimulus package that was passed in 2009, we've only had it for a year in effect. It took, now in an economic cycle, those go in 6 to 12 years. So, in a shallow recession, you can get out of it in 2 to 3 years, but economists have been calling this the recession of a century. So, we need to give it more time to work, and maybe, some of the funds were misguided, but we had to do something. We had to rescue our economy from a certain failure.
Thank you, Delegate. Your time has elapsed. Now,
Burns, New Jersey delegation. Thank you, Madam Chair. I reserve my right to yield to Delegate Shaw in South Carolina,
that is your right.
and I motion to extend debate.
By how many rounds?
2 rounds.
There's a motion on the floor to extend debate by 2 rounds. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor of extending debate by 2 rounds, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Nay. This motion prevails. Now, extend debate by 2 rounds. You must sit down since you motion. Yes. Because a motion preempts yielding the floor. And now we'll move on to
Chris Abibi, New Jersey delegation. Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a right to the time to call for New Jersey.
that is your right.
I like this proposal a lot. I like the fact that we're saving for a rainy day. It's a very good thing. And I yield time to vote for New Jersey.
Michael Coe, from the delegation. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to read a few points that were discussed earlier during the debate. I believe it is the responsibility of our federal government to do all it can to save and to protect the American people from a financial downfall. We may not appreciate this proposal because we do not see immediate results, and I think that's a problem with many American people today. We are so used to seeing immediate results in not only our economy and our society and the way that we live. Also, I want to say that in regards to the stimulus package, that is one perfect example. The stimulus package is not necessarily something that's going to yield immediate results, but with the patience of the American people, we can see long-term results that may result from being economic and being frugal. And my last point is that a government that saves is one that is frugal and therefore loyal and dedicated to the financial security of its people. Thank you.
Thank you,